Hello, everyone. Welcome to Screenshot, the show where we talk about trending topics, social justice, anything that is on our minds. I'm your host, Vui Sile, better known as Vui or Bulao, your man in the streets. I am joined by my co-hosts, Alan.
You forgot my name, huh?
Yeah, you see, there's a footy man.
Remember, please.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
And and I'm also joined by Melinda or Joey or Joe. Yeah, we call him
Nothing
many
much to
things.
it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. And namhla we've got a very, very special guest. Abanye beno liyamazi from Twitter. Some of us we know her from different circles. We'll let her introduce herself.
Hello people, my name is Antonella Nare. Most of you know me as the Sutu Queen or Unamacimbi. Yeah, and I'm a political activist and a marketer by profession.
Ah,
So
fantastic.
things
Now look what is Sutu Queen now was a
We need to be paid.
Yeah, so today we're talking about a range of things. It's Q&A, but a plethora of topics. Yeah, so first of all, we're having a conversation just before we started shooting, and we're talking about whether or not it is possible to separate an individual from their brand. So I'm going to have a nice panel discussion, and there's no right or wrong answers, just right or wrong opinions. Yeah, so you know what? We'll start with our guest. What do you think? Is it possible?
From what I've seen of what I've experienced, I'll talk from my experience. I've seen people are not be able to separate the two.
Yeah.
Because the Antonella that they see handle in the streets and the Antonella that they see online, bafuna ukuthi behle bemhlanganise kawane. Or the Antonella othengisa amacimbi and Antonella a political activist and Antonella a marketer. Kusuka befuna ukuhlanganisa kawane, which is quite a problem. Yeah.
All right, so that was an amazing insight, Nela. What about you, Alan? What do you think?
My take is kadisnenyi with us people. The problem is we build business brands from personal brands. People start to know Alan before they know Deja Vu. And then when they know about me, they start to wonder what do I do? And then they realize, oh, okay, he does this as well. So most of our brands that we're talking about right now are brands that are built around a persona yomuntu oyohani. You're doing a piano festival. People know you first before the festival.
Yes.
And then, Bunjalo. So it's hard for people to divorce the two if you're siphoning traffic from your personal brand to the business brand. That's why ungakhuluma gobe online, people are not going to say, Uvu did this or Ulamen did this.
Yeah.
It's abantu abangakwaziyo are quick to say, Ucho Mama Piano Festival did this. So I think as abantu singakayikhatshana sisodwa nje, we should learn to divorce the two at an early stage. If you know what your personal brand somehow is going to negatively affect the business side of things.
Yeah.
I'll exemplify. When it was still popping, there was a guy who was big in the business space, civility, fruits.
Yes.
And then the business brand was cool.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, you get to a point where you say something that might trigger someone on the personal brand.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, people stop supporting the business brand because
of what you said in your
what you
personal
say. And it's hard for them to divorce the two because it's because of, in the business, it's because of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's on us mostly, not on the other people's side.
Yeah.
Although it's unfair, but that's what it is, I think.
All right. Melinda, what do you think?
I'm coming from a side that's not really business brand. And say you've got a brand winner, maybe a persona brand, and that you put out online, and even if it's not business related, you're talking about certain things like, I don't know, what's Susan's a comedian, and on Twitter you're always posting funny stuff. I'm
That's fine. Something is keeping it's fine. It's not our man.
English bundles that
Right.
Anyway, if you uzfake as someone who's a comedian on social media and you always posting jokes, it's always funny, and then you also siba serious and so what do you really know about this? And maybe when on a personal level into these things, and so maybe we also have to lati as abantu, maybe should we put it all out there, like your business brand, we associate. I know I'm now like dividing the token.
Yeah.
We separate our personal brands, but are we able to mix it? You don't think we can mix it?
No,
like
the
be
thing
serious
is-
and be a comedian at the same time?
At a personal level, okay, I'm on social media, but ngilandeni. Okay?
Exactly.
If I'm there to promote my business, into deja vu, let it be about that. I have no business in some think piece on things that I'm not knowledgeable about. If I am knowledgeable and I can back izinto zanalizana with facts, it's cool. But awukho sharp nje ukuthi from nowhere sengiqalisa ukuzithola sengizifaka entweni engingazaziyo, and then yeah. You tend to chase away abantu who are actually following your content for the main thing that you were pushing before. And mina, I was unfortunate. I've had that happening. You're there to push your business, and then uthole abantu sebephikisana ngezinye izinto, and then you try to step in and for your think piece, and people don't tell you, but uyazibonela whether your numbers reducing, so okay, people are now shying away from
Because of
so it scales down to you telling yourself ukuthi online ulandeni.
Alright.
Ask yourself that and try your best to stick to that, because there's people online who are bored or serious, like umuntu ebehlezi endlini nayo let it right. Mana mphikisane lo Allen uthini kanti?
Let me wait for you.
And you've got
ngabona ungatweet yakulonje.
and you've got more to lose than that person.
Exactly.
Ebehlezi erumini mele rent ukuthi ebhadale le mali ayikabi khona, but
Yeah.
Also on social media, you can't please everyone. I think I have
That
noticed
is very
that
true.
you cannot please everyone. If you come up with like you're thinking, "Wuti, I'm being mature." So mature, I think you're better than all of us. If you attack someone, you think you're better than all of us. Yeah, you're being childish. You can't please everyone on social media.
Yeah.
So I also think you should just do whatever you want. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
Do you?
Yeah, true.
Just do you
Njengokuthi-
push your political agendas, push your businesses,
Amaqimbi.
push your enjoyment issues. If you want to talk about, you want to visit a strip club, I don't know, push it off.
But Ogunya, I feel like something that's very important on social media, know your audience. For example, and on Twitter, people know that all I talk about is nonsense. If I'm promoting anything, it's going to be something to do with recreation and entertainment. Imagine nginje so on, nama jokes ami ngilila ngasembe promoter cryptocurrency. Now, it sometimes, as much as I've got a view on something, and I feel like the whole world must hear it. Sometimes you may see that, let me not be too shocked when people then react a certain way. Yeah. So, but I wanted to throw a spanner into the works, guys. Do you think that this problem is unique to us, or it cuts across? The reason why I'm saying this is, think about it this way. Elon Musk right now, he's on shaky ground. Some people like him, but some people don't like him. But everyone's on Twitter, So it's one of those situations whereby, to some extent, people ended up separating the brand from the individual, But here, go Bulawayo. I'll use it because our demographic, the people that are listening here, you'll find that in Abanbada. Here, it would be very interesting to find out why people support us. You might find that abantu abaningi babuya ku-Amapiano Festival ngenxa yokuthi bakazimina. Abantu abaningi basupporta, they don't even say they're supporting Deja Vu Apparel. Basupport Allen. Abantu abaningi amaqimbi abalanda abalawo. But they're like, no, I'm just an example. Hey, come on.
Joey.
Come on, man. But now what they're saying is, no, I mean, look, Nela, we don't really mind what you're doing. You can wake up tomorrow and say you're selling pork, and people will still buy because what they're doing is supporting you. So in such in a small environment such as ours, in a very, very micro-economic place like Bulawayo, do you think it's now possible to completely separate the individual from the brand without damaging either of the two, especially the brand?
I don't think so. I think people, like, your point is very correct. I'm pretty sure that you opened Kontutu recently, and the first people that showed up are
the only people that showed up.
The only people.
And the only people that show up week after week after week
It's because
are
of
my
what?
friends.
it's because of Vui,
Yeah,
because we
true.
know Vui, so
Yeah.
we'll show up for Vui. So I'm sure Uti with time it's going to grow and grow, and
Yeah.
but you can't like say Uti completely. Let me separate Vui from the businessman. Let me separate Alan from the businessman, and
Because the business will suffer.
because umuntu vele Alan, if we're being honest, and they're going to do it for you. Yes, you've got beautiful designs and all that,
Yeah.
but what's stopping that person from purchasing for the same amount of money and going to let's say stars or something like that, and it's because of what Alan, and I've got $20 and I want to buy a t-shirt. Alan is selling.
But
Alan wants to drink on the weekend.
do you know what my problem is with that? I understand what you're saying, and you're right. But I think it's one of the reasons why we're failing to create lasting brands. Because most brands don't grow beyond the founder or the owner of the brand. Right now, ngati mphuma lapha chai on feet, akusela deja vu, because the entire thing is built around me. So there is no continuity if I continue telling myself, okay, the brand has to revolve around my own persona. And then using your example, I wanted to address that. Or Elon Musk, those guys were smart enough to make their money first before their voices in using it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Just come as
What I say is like I don't
come as
care.
like
Make your money, then you can
Yeah.
start voicing as in using to.
Don't be that afraid to lose footy.
And then
Yeah.
you get around like Andrew Tate.
yeah.
Zimekhuluma ngoBikaTS because they
They
don't
make
have
their
the
money.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
True.
You have to have the bag back you up.
Yes.
Yes.
I had a similar incident. When was it? Last year.
Yeah.
When I spoke about the Nast thing in the entertainment space, which
Yes,
yeah. Let me I'm like, if you want your opinions to matter, make your money first and be someone who ungakhuluma something you can actually impact something.
Yeah.
Not like antu ngakhuluma kuyathala uchomo izikipa lo.
Yeah, you know Malume Lwana, I always like this example.
Yeah.
Malume Lwana at the family gathering. Abambona is what?
Ulembone sharp.
Ulembone sharp sibili.
But he's bored.
He's bored. So yena engakhuluma abantu abamlaleli. But let his cousin or his brother with money say the same thing.
It changes.
But
It becomes different.
no, but coming
It
You
changes.
know this
Yeah.
from our own family.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Ole mali.
Umalume ole mali makufiwe, he makes the decisions.
Yeah, they don't make a decision again.
No,
But
Abaqalise
Simelele nugatsheni kakabi.
You see now.
Azwele.
and Vandiza ngesbo. Like benguvuyi.
Yeah,
Hayi ngabe umntaka.
Khona bantu usually in our cultures like the older like sibling or something and
Yeah.
always some decisions but nxa ngela mali.
They don't matter very.
So money talks. It's not just a
Money talks.
statement.
It's
Money
like,
talks.
True.
Yeah.
True. All right. So I don't know. I feel like we've exhausted most of the topic. We would love to hear what people think. So just leave your comments in the comments section. But today we also wanted to discuss something that is also very, very important. We can try as much as we can to ignore it, but in Zimbabwe we are in an election year. You know, and as young people we are trying to take control of our future. We're going to talk about registering to vote. And it's going to be a very, very short debate.
Short and controversial.
Very, very short and controversial debate, but it has to be had. We need to have this conversation. To register or not to register, that is the question. Yeah, personally, I have registered to vote.
I think we all have. Maybe the question is to vote or not to vote. You can register to clear your conscience.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, true.
Like to vote
You
or
can.
not to vote
All right.
after registering.
All right. All right.
I've had conversations with people who have said, why? Like nothing is going to change. Especially the younger generation. It's like they don't even know that it's election year. It's businesses.
And they were busy kumavuzu, but
Yeah, bahamba piano festival.
yeah.
The speaker.
True.
Stop.
No, but for real, for my,
So,
I've
coach.
only got one festival before elections. That one is gonna be a register to vote drive. Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna abuse Nela because you're a political activist. For the longest time, even before it became popular to ask people to register to vote, you were asking people to register to vote. So I think we'll start with you. What do you think?
Mina, what I think is, first, before people register to vote, I think we are lacking on the education part of it. ukuthi why are we requesting people to register to vote and actually voting on the day? Ukuthi why are we doing that? There is need for civic society or even political players to actually educate people on the importance of registering to vote before them actually getting to choose whichever party they want to vote for, because it starts from register to vote. Register to vote, I don't think ukuthi, let me not say you having an opinion, but I think you're giving another person a chance to decide on your behalf. So now register to vote, it then gives you a leeway to actually decide now which path do I want to go. I can to decide you're not registered to vote, you're not going to vote at the end of the day. So it's important or to get educated on the importance of registering to vote, or actually the electoral processes as a whole.
All right.
Can I play?
So yeah, actually, before we jump to Ireland, I think in summary what you're saying is that to some extent, to a larger extent, if you're not registered to vote, you really can't be in a position to then complain about what happens after people vote.
That's what I'm thinking, because if you are eligible to vote, what's stopping you to not register to vote or actually voting on the day?
All right.
I mean,
all right, so that's interesting. Okay, Alan will jump to you.
After you, Alan.
Yeah. I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll say my opinions on behalf of abantu abaningi who are not registered to vote, especially in the age, isn't?
Yeah.
Abantu abaningi feel
and
like
this is statistically backed, by the way. You know how many people are not registered to vote right now.
yeah.
So the thing is, it's easy to convince someone to register to vote. It's okay. Baningi vele abangakwenza. Lakathesi nje ukhona umuntu ngabe lalela ehambe register to vote because you convinced them to do that. But for them to actually take initiative and take it a step further and actually do the voting, kuzabe kuchiyene kakhulu from the people that actually registered, and it's because people don't believe in systems that are there that are supposed to be governing the election process in Aliana.
Okay.
You feel like even if you do it, the result is predictable. It's like going to driving school, sithi ufuna ukuyebhala, and then uyakwazi to fail because mele udize
yeah.
But uloyinkani lokho uhamba ubuyele, you get to a point where you're like, no man, mana nchiyane lakho ngizahamba nxa sensiyadiza. Othi nxa wasediza ngavela usuzothatha license. So for people, they still a mindset yabantu abaningi, especially with the youth abangakwaziyo, like you're saying, the education part of things, and the mindset will always be
it's done.
So with the education that you're proposing to abantu pertaining to registering to vote, akubuya lama reforms that actually would convince someone ukuthi okay, voting would actually make a difference in your life beyond it giving you a voice. Because people who have voted in the past also and have had that voice that we speak of, still it resulted in and what's done about that? Nothing. So if it's something that's not consequential,
yeah, all right, I'll see.
If it's something that's not consequential, you complain about something that I can clearly see which is not in favor of what I voted for. Going I mean, again, encourage you to vote and go the same. So that's the mindset of the wider majority. Like it's easy to abantu abaningi will vote, will register. I mean, because maybe was the online, we vilify them for not being registered.
Yeah. Why?
So they'll register because of that.
Yeah.
But actually going there to do the actual thing,
to line and do their civic duty,
to be honest.
Being on Twitter and on the ground
it's two
actually
different.
Things,
especially when it comes to matters like this.
I get your point, generally. At times it's about the expectation. Okay, if I vote, maybe I'll get the same result, village and stuff. But then there are other factors, like I mentioned, with maybe educative part, and maybe my documents or whatever, be registered to vote, and maybe they have commitments on the day and whatsoever. So maybe le balance on to say yes, we say the expectation the result is there, but then what are you doing about it? You're saying the result is already there, but then the more lao we move, the more the result becomes obvious, or
maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's my opinion.
Like, Anyway, I wanted to touch on something you said earlier, but the educative part of voting. And I also believe that most people think elections is only voting for a president. Like, that's the only thing that you're like voting between. And there's two political parties that are like high up there, and so one of them is going to.
Well, to be honest, it's one because the other one is posting verses, but.
No, but it's three. Like, I mean, the most occupier sits between.
Yeah.
So it's
funny
like
is
three political.
Yeah.
The educated one is even voting for your councillor, and Omunye Muntu Vele doesn't even know who. Like,
I told him, look,
like Vele, you don't even know who
As
your
it is the soap
councillor is. So
Sopo.
Couch
That chief, where town?
I don't know, me I stay in town, but I'm going to still cancel them.
you see.
It sounds valid, like it's a joke. We're joking, guys.
But
we know
also
about words and my districts and so on and so on.
You go and vote for. You go and vote for umuntu or political party that you're supporting, and they never presented themselves to you. They never campaigned. They even like from your own trying to better your own locations
So now,
and stuff.
here's
Even
my
if we
question.
pause, all right.
After all that, I've registered and sengiqedile sokushapa, and then sesifikile isikhathi sakhona. When I'm voting, do we agree ukuthi I have to vote for a party that represents my interests and a party whose vision I believe would better my life and the life of the greater public? Do we agree on that?
I mean, like voting for you.
No, not personally, and I'm not agreeing because
If you're voting, why do you
We said
choose
this
a
was
certain
going to
party?
be a short discussion.
because it's semi-petelwe. Now, my 2 cents on this is perhaps we are thinking about it the wrong way as far as the levels of voting are concerned. Parties are fine, but a party is a larger corporate organization with its own mission, its own agenda and so on. I feel like the best thing that we can do, and I like that you brought in the issue of my councillors, like my MPs and so on, vote for the individual that appeals to you. That they outlay a manifesto in a very clear way. When you see this person saying, "Good, hey guys, we're gonna clean up litter on the street," in your district, in your ward, you can believe what they're saying.
Things you can see.
Things you can see, because you might find that kula abantu that will be like, look, as far as ukwenzakala state house and voting for the president, that's a different section altogether. Now the problems that I have are problems in my neighborhood.
My thing is, uphuziswe ama-pothole and
maningi emakhandeni ama-pothole, hey.
uphuziswe ama-pothole and kuma-potholes wona in the past there's umuntu wayepromisile ukuthi hayi no guys mina lingamfaka awulagodela izalibona la yabona barovuyi namhla uphuzile ngenxa yama-pothole wona lawa.
And then it comes again. And then it
It's part of
comes.
politics. It's part of, from both sides, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And then it comes again to say who's konkona like participation yama youth in the electoral processes or ama processes in the communities, because you get to see who's konkona your councillor or MP has ama meetings. They have ama meetings like briefly. I think maybe twice or once a month where they review. Are you
These days
guys are we
it's almost weekly,
are we
actually.
participating in those meetings to say konkona we question them? What's was put them to account. What are you doing now for us? Into us promise on 28 and we haven't delivered. It starts from the council.
Does it all the time.
Are we putting those people to account? Account for their problems?
No, but you know what? I feel like
You need to hold people accountable.
exactly. I'm understanding, because I feel like it speaks to a bigger problem that we're having as a youth, because this is a youth thing. In any election process, and I want the people that count on is the economically active population, which is people between the age of 18 and 40 something, the young people. But if you've noticed in Zimbabwe, the young people are resigned from the future.
Very young in Zimbabwe, when was 60.
Yeah, of course. I'm a youth age, you have a 65. Yeah, you stop being a youth. You stop being a youth when you retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't say pension now, you're no longer a youth. But the point that I'm trying to make is, think about it this way. There's a joke that we always joke about. I think what Twitter could have saying the Zimbabwean dream is to leave Zimbabwe. But think about it this way. Let's talk about our circle alone here, because all of us here are friends.